Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Guys, I don't really know what to do with my arms or my legs right now. I have to stand because I just moved into my new apartment. I literally have no furniture, not even like a lawn chair. That would be nice. Maybe I should get one of those just for the time being before all my furniture arrives. My mattress did arrive, so technically I guess I could get that out and lay on that. I think I might do that after this video. But anyways, today I want to do a little bit of a story time for you. In honor of Mental Health Month, I want to make a few, I don't know how many I'm going to get to, but a few videos about mental health topics, just as sort of a theme in this month of May. May is Mental Health Month. Mental health is a topic I am very passionate about. And so I'm super excited to actually talk about some experiences I've had. So there's no content warnings for today, other than I did talk to a counselor about some topics on anxiety, so I will be talking about a little bit of that. So let's jump right in. First, I want to say that this experience is not indicative of what therapy is. I've had some amazing experiences with therapists, but at the same time, there are plenty of bad therapists out there. That's just sort of how it goes. So don't take this as me saying that therapy is bad. I actually love therapy. I think therapy is an amazing thing and something that if you have the resources to go to therapy and you think it'd be something that's helpful, I absolutely recommend it. So do not take this as me saying therapy is bad, but I do want to share an experience because I think it's helpful to just know that not everyone has like they go to a therapist and like instantly click. Like sometimes just like any relationship with a doctor, like you might not vibe very well with that person and you might go somewhere else. All right, so let's just jump into it. I'm gonna take you back a few years. This is my sophomore year of college. I had finished my first year of college, had gone home for the summer, and my doctor put me on anxiety medication. I had developed pretty severe anxiety during my first year of college. And on this medication, my doctor said, when you go back to school, I want you to meet with your school's counseling center to just find like a therapist or get some sort of counseling to go along with this medication. I went and I talked to a therapist at my school's counseling center that fall in my sophomore year. My school's counseling center was notorious for being kind of not the best. Not only just the health center, but also the mental health center. It sort of had a reputation on campus of being not very welcoming to students, which is sort of like the opposite of what therapy should be. But it really wasn't somewhere that I was super excited to go for those reasons, but because of where the campus is located, there weren't any other providers in my insurance around. So it was sort of my only option. So I call up the school counseling center, I make an appointment, and I'm pretty nervous, my first time ever going to therapy, right? And I sit down with this woman, she hands me a box of tissues, which is like kind of weird, like sort of just like assuming I'm gonna cry, which I cry pretty much every week in therapy, let's just get that straight. But weird to just be like, here honey, like I know you're gonna cry. She also called me honey a lot, which is one thing that sometimes doesn't bother me when people do, but in like, if I'm already not vibing with that person and they call me honey, I'm like, no thank you. So she says, you know, tell me a little bit about what's going on with you, and I'm talking to her. I tell her about my anxiety. I also talk to her about some personal stuff that was going on. My parents were getting a divorce at that time, and so I sort of told her about that because that was something that was going on that was definitely causing me anxiety. And the first meeting ended pretty well. I would say like I left feeling like okay about it, and I was supposed to return the following week for a follow-up. And pretty much every week after that for at least, 8 sessions, I think was sort of like the norm that they would offer students for free, I guess. And they didn't really have the resources to provide more than that for students. The next week hits and I'm feeling pretty good. Like I had a pretty good week. I don't even remember what happened that week. It was so long ago at this point, but I just remember going back to therapy feeling like I feel pretty good. I had a good week. And I told her that. I said, I feel good like this week and, I'm feeling good today. our session last week, I think, was helpful, whatever. Keep in mind, she knows I have this anxiety disorder diagnosis. She knows that my primary care doctor told me to go to her, okay? And yet she says to me, well, it seems like you're doing really well, honey. I don't think you need to come back. I'm sorry. Okay, so you're gonna tell me after I come in here for my second appointment with you for my anxiety disorder, and I'm having a good week, so yeah, I'm, generally in a good mood, but like that doesn't mean I'm like healed. And not that therapy is supposed to heal you, but I mean, that's sort of like the purpose of me being there, right? It was like for a longer period of time than 2 sessions, and she knew that. It was so weird. And so me being naive and not really understanding in that moment that like, no, that's pretty messed up, I said to her, I was like, okay, well, okay, I didn't really know what to do. So I left and I didn't go back. I literally did not go back, you guys. And we will not even go into what happened after that and like how helpful it would have been to actually have a therapist during that time in my life, because that was the period of time where I started to really develop an eating disorder and I went through a lot of shit. But I guess I was fine. So part 2 to this story though. So fast forward to the spring of that same year. So I went into the fall, I went to see her in the fall, and then I had to go back, okay, and see her in the spring, which was literally, I did not want to do this, but my school forced me to, because I was preparing to study abroad that following fall in Amsterdam. And because I had been to the counseling center, like even once or twice, I don't know what their threshold was, but because I had been to the counseling center before, they required me to get basically mental health clearance to go abroad, which I understand why they need to do that. And I think that it's great that they value students' mental health in that regard. But the fact that I now had to go back to this provider who literally told me that I was fine after that second time, I don't know, it just felt sort of like a slap in the face. It was just very, very ironic, the whole situation. So I set up an appointment with her, and it's a 30-minute appointment. I'm like, oh my God, what on earth are we gonna talk about? Like, I don't even wanna go, but I have to, otherwise they're not gonna let me study abroad. And so I go to see her. Seriously, you guys, you're not gonna believe what happens next. She acted, and I don't know if it's just because she didn't read my file or she didn't ever put me in the file system or whatever, but she acted like she had never met me before. She like introduced herself, she asked me who I was, and I literally said, yeah, I've seen you before, and she acted like minorly flustered for a second, but then just sort of brushed it off like it hadn't happened. And I was like, that is so weird to like act like you've never met me before. I know that you see a ton of students, like I'm not offended that you didn't remember me, but to act like we hadn't met before. To see it through the session, she asked me what I would do if I was feeling anxious while I was abroad, and I said I'd probably call my mom. And she said, oh honey, you're gonna need to learn how to stop calling mommy and daddy all the time for help. Literally in like that sort of like voice too. And I don't know, that to me was just like the final straw. I was like, all right, well, maybe if you would have counseled me for longer, I would have actually had better coping skills than calling my mom, woman. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much the end of my experience with her. I did actually end up going back to that counseling center during my senior year of college, and I actually had a great experience with a different therapist. So I'm not saying that everyone in that counseling center is a bad provider or anything like that, but I did have this weird experience. I just wanted to share this because I think that, like, one, it's important to just talk about these experiences because so many people have weird experiences like this, and I know that this isn't even nearly as bad as some of the experiences people have had with mental health providers. Mental health care is so hard to navigate, and I understand that, and it's really hard to even show up and talk to someone about how you're feeling. But I do want to reiterate that There are amazing providers out there that you can talk to, and there are also online resources, one of which is called Crisis Text Line. I'm actually a volunteer. I'm a crisis counselor for them. If you text home to 741-741 at any point 24/7, you can be connected with a crisis counselor to talk if you are in crisis. So there's so many options for you if you are experiencing any sort of emotional distress or mental health crises. I just want you to know that. I don't want you to think this is me saying therapy is bad. This is just one bad experience that I had. So anyways, I hope you guys have a lovely, safe week. Please let me know in the comments if you want me to do more story times like this. Literally at this point, you guys, my feet are sliding apart because I have like this power stance coming. Ooh, I hope this is in focus because otherwise I'll be really sad because I recorded this whole thing and then I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below on your thoughts. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks.